What do you need improvement in?
Just want to go through and win.
What is the purpose of overthinking? You're taking care of your loved one. That's how you can increase your sales. Hello, everybody. This is Farrell. And this is Jessica Flournoy, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with the Homecare Guys.
Man, Caleb, we have a treat today for our audience, man.
Yes, we do. We have the none other phenomenal mortgage loan officer, my sister, the expert, Jessica Flournoy. Welcome, Jessica, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Homecare Guys.
Isn't she beautiful?
Oh, my goodness.
This is a privilege. I'm excited.
Well, we're excited to have you on this show. And so, Jessica, you are a woman with many talents and with many professions. So I want you to tell us pretty much about yourself and tell us how you got into the mortgage loan officer business.
Yeah, first, thank you so much for this opportunity. I feel privileged to sit with my brothers. It's probably been the best interview since I've been doing loans. Real quick, a little bit about me. Of course, I was born right here in Milledgeville. We grew up together.
Yeah, 6 kids deep.
Yeah, we grew up together. After I graduated from high school, I went on to college in Macon. I attended Macon State. It's known as Middle Georgia State College now.
Right.
Went there, graduated from there, and after that, I went on to school in South Carolina, studied occupational therapy. I worked in that industry for about 10 years, and I was like, you know what? I got the itch to move back to Georgia, but I was like, I don't think I want to do therapy anymore.
Right.
So I was like, oh, what do I like to do? And, what's another career? I always was very interested in real estate. I love real estate. And I was like, you know what? Let me try the mortgage thing out to see whether or not I'll be a good fit. Took the exam, passed the exam, failed the exam first.
Come on.
Come on.
Took the exam again and passed it on the second time.
Exactly.
So, I went back in there and I was like, you know what? Now it's time for me to get out here and get started. So that was my journey. Passed the exam, but I did run into a hurdle. I was like, oh my goodness, passed the exam. Now I have to find someone to hire me.
Wow.
And being a new loan officer, a lot of people are like, oh, you so risky. And of course, I think I tried to give like different companies a call. I called over like 50 companies.
Wow.
And everybody said no. And I was like, my last name Flournoy. Like,
Come on.
whatever. But I was like, you know what? I had to eat the humble pie.
Okay.
And I reached out to a lady in Stockbridge. Shout out to Sheba. And she was like, girl.
Come on, Sheba.
Come on. She was like, you know what? I need you to come on up here. When can you get to Atlanta? I was like, I can come the next day.
Right.
Put my clothes on, went to Atlanta. She hired me on the spot. And ever since then, I've been going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Girl, look, first of all, man, that's an amazing, you gave us, like, that's years and years and years ago, but you gave us a quick 2 minutes on that right there.
Yeah.
I want to know, I'm going to take it back a little bit because I know professionally you've been trained as an occupational therapist. So you are a coder, still hold that license, correct?
Correct. Still do.
Still hold the license. What was your mindset when it came to a transition? Where were you at the point of your career? Where were you in your mind when you said, hold up, I need to do something different?
Great question. Of course, I practiced occupational therapy assistance in South Carolina. So I knew I was going to get ready to transition back to Georgia. And I was like, I don't want to do therapy anymore. What can I do? So I jumped into the mortgage industry, and it was a huge change. It was a big pivot. Going from healthcare to real estate is two different terminologies. Of course, I knew some of the terminology being in real estate, a small little investor here and there or whatever. So I did know the terminology. I did know the lingo. And I was like, I think I want to pursue that. The reason why and the reason for that pivot was because I think I reached a level of success in my occupational therapy that I made the max.
Right. Okay.
And that was it. And I was like, oh, Jessica, you got a little bit more goals you got to accomplish. You gonna need some more money.
Wow.
Right.
And I was like, of course, it was a risk.
Yes.
And I'm a big risk taker. Being that not married, no kids, I'm risking it all now.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not playing it safe.
You're actually going for broke.
I'm going for broke. Doing that season. So I was like, you know what? Take the risk. So I took the risk. I left therapy, came back to Georgia, jumped right into the mortgage, and it's been up and up ever since then.
And one thing that you said that really stood out is because you really position yourself to be able to take a risk. Because I think so many times in life, people, they have other things that they're responsible for. So they have to kind of mitigate their risk. But you position yourself as a single woman, no children, successful in one career. So you always had a backup plan just in case, but you afforded yourself an opportunity to take the risk.
Right.
And I think that's important for our audience to know as well, is to when you're on this entrepreneurial journey or when you're on a success journey, you have the things that you do it's going to allow you to be able to take risks or not take risks. And I think the more risks you can take early on, the larger your success can be as well.
Absolutely. And to that point, Ferris, a lot of people ask me, Jessica, how was the transition? Like, how did you do it? Would you recommend me transition out of my full-time job into going into real estate? And I'll be honest with them. I let them know, hey, I knew I was going to transition out, so I prepared myself.
Right.
I know on Facebook, sometimes I call it fake. You know, I know on Facebook, you know, we only post our highlights and we only post the best things and our closings and all of that. And I knew going into it that, of course, Jessica, you're new to the industry. So you may not close your first deal in the first 30 days.
Wow.
Will you still have enough to pay bills and all of that? So I positioned myself and I told myself, hey, Jessica, you're going to be good. If you don't close no loan in 2 years, you're prepared for this. So that's a nugget I tell people, prepare yourself.
Now that is important right there. I don't know if you all heard that that golden bullet or golden nugget that you just spit out, Jessica. So really, when you got your loan officer's license, you just didn't stop immediately with your job. So you were pretty much kind of prepared to leave your job with the nest egg already saved.
Absolutely. Well, I actually quit my job.
Okay.
I quit my job. Well, I quit my job in a good standing. Quit your job in good standing, people. You never know when you have to go back.
Okay.
So I quit my job in good standing. I left South Carolina, came to Georgia, but I was prepared when I came to Georgia.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was prepared. If I didn't close one loan in 2 years, I'm good.
Gotcha. Ooh, that's smart.
So that's preparation. Don't go out here and just leave something and think you're going to close something the next day. You may be that good, but Jessica wasn't that good.
You know, a lot of people that want to get into the entrepreneur world, they think that you have to just kind of leave your job or quit your job and just kind of give it all with entrepreneurship, but you have to be prepared.
You do.
And so I like how prepared you were. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to take it back even further because like we all grew up in the same household, and I know we all had like our personalities kind of came out as we grew.
Right.
Did you always consider yourself, do you consider yourself an extrovert? Have you always been a on the sales side? Because every business, every entrepreneur endeavor takes some type of sales. Like, what type of personality do you have? Because I'm like, I never saw like that extroverted Jessica.
Me neither.
I am the quietest person in the room. I'm still that quietest person in the room. You will never know I exist like in a home. I know, of course, I was the middle child.
Yes.
So, of course, you have the older ones, and then I had to be between the twins.
You and Ferris was the middle one.
Yeah. I'm the baby girl, and I had to be 3 before me, and I have these 2 powerhouses behind me. So little me, I was always overlooked, you know? So I was like, you know what? It's cool. You know, it was fine. And one thing about me, I knew who I am. I know who I am.
Yes.
So I don't care who try to outshine me. Jessica, she's confident in who she is.
Yes.
So I've always been like that.
Yes.
Like, hey, I don't care. I have 3,000 friends on Facebook, and people always ask me, Jessica, do you really care what people? Not really. I don't, because 3,000 people mean 3,000 different opinions.
Wow.
And and I can't change like that.
Exactly.
So long as I'm satisfied with Jessica and happy with Jessica, it's 2 opinions I worry about, mine, and I definitely care about what my mom said about me. So other than that,
I love it. And I think, just like I said, like, I've seen you blossom over the years to not only become a beautiful young lady and a sister, guys. She is dateable.
Thank you.
She is dateable. So,
Thank you.
But only the best. And don't come in with no none. We playing that.
Yeah.
But I see
almost out the market. I'm out the market.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm out the market.
Off the market.
Okay.
But my thing is, I seen you blossom. I seen you actually grow professionally. I've seen you grow personally. I've seen you set goals.
Yeah.
And so my next question is, how important is goal setting to becoming a successful entrepreneur that you are? Like, how important is goal setting to you?
Goal setting is very important. You know, you don't just meet goals by happenstance.
Yes.
Right.
Everything is strategic. I've learned that. I've been, over the last couple of years, I've been so big on vision boards. I've tried to plan my life.
Yes.
You know, and God, he do the rest. But, you know, I try to plan my life on purpose. And I'm very big on goal setting, vision casting, and to make sure I hit those goals. And if I don't hit them, it's my fault. You know, we get 365 days, and that's 365 days of opportunity.
Yes.
Come on now.
So I try to make my mark, and I try to make it, you know, I try to just go in and be like, hey, Jessica, make it happen. No excuses. Either you're going to do it or you're going to do it.
Well, I want to kind of bring you back into the world of where you are now with loan officers. So what is a typical day that you do, like, you know, as a loan officer? Like, what is a loan officer? First of all, let's educate our audience on what you actually do.
Right. Most people, they go straight to the realtor when they want to find a home.
Okay.
And really, you're supposed to come straight to the loan officer, because we can tell you pretty much how much you're going to be pre-approved for. most realtors in this market, they won't even take you out without something that's called a pre-approval. The pre-approval process consists of you filling out the application, the 1003, and of course submitting documents, driver's license, social security card, bank statements, W-2s, paycheck stubs, and that's when the loan officer, myself, we will review all of your information. We'll go through it with a fine-tooth comb to let you know, hey, yep, you've been pre-approved, or yep, you may need a little time for this pre-approval.
Gotcha.
That pre-approval is going to let you know how much house you can afford, or pretty much how much house you can purchase at that time. After you get that pre-approval, that's when the realtor will take you out searching for homes. But you have to have that pre-approval first.
So with that process, like how long does that process take for a pre-approval? Like if someone has those documents, they fill out the application and they give you all those documents, how long do you think that process for a decision to get a pre-approval can take?
Minimum 1 or 2 days.
Oh, really?
Some of them can be complex. Of course, sometimes people submit documents one at a time. And it's best to submit all your documents at one time. And I always let clients know, I remember when I first purchased a home.
Correct.
And I was shaking in my boots. Like I was so nervous. And my brother Joshua, he coached me through the whole thing. He was like, Jessica, why are you so nervous? I was like, because they may not approve me, and I was so nervous. He was like, what's your credit score? I was like, I got a pretty decent credit score. I'm about 750 plus. Okay. He was like, okay, that's one check. He said, you got money in the bank? I said, I got $2 in the bank. $2 plus. And he was like, are you currently employed? I was like, yeah, I've been at my job for 10 years. And he was like, well, what are you nervous about?
Right.
So I did not know. And he was like, Jessica, you are the prime candidate. So I try to give that relief to my clients now.
Yes.
Be real with me. Be upfront with me.
Correct.
And I'm here to coach you. Just like I had that coach, I want to coach my clients. Like, hey, it's nothing to be afraid of.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Just show me the documents and I'm going to show you, hey, you're ready. Or I would never tell someone you can't purchase a home. You probably can't purchase now, but you'll be able to purchase soon.
Wow.
Soon, maybe 6 months, soon, maybe 2 or 3 years, but I would never tell someone they can never purchase.
Come on, exactly.
And Jessica, I think definitely been following you on social media. I see you are closing almost every week or multiple times per week. And it's such a blessing.
You're hot right now.
Thank you.
It's such a blessing. It's such a blessing to be able to go through and open up the doors for home ownership for people, because believe it or not, you are changing generations.
Right.
It's because are you seeing that there are a lot of first-time homeowners, like individuals that are coming from situations where their parents may have been renters, but they're going to home ownership? Are you seeing that?
Absolutely. And that's pretty much majority of my population, millennials, first-time home buyers. And the feeling is so great, so rewarding when you can actually grab someone by the hand, walk them through the entire process. And once you get to closing, that's a celebratory moment.
Yes.
You see all the pictures on Facebook, but it's been a lot of work getting there. There's plenty of clients I've actually worked with a year and a half, and I told them, hey, we're going to get there. Once I run your credit, if your credit is not where it needs to be, maybe I'll tell you, hey, go back, let's work on this and come back and see me.
Correct.
Right.
And some people follow the plans to the T, and you follow the plans to the T, you can get you a home. Really, you have to give your mortgage loan officer something to work with.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Something to work with mean, hey, you may not have the credit score now, but you got a good job, or you may not have the credit score now, but girl, you got some money in this account. Let me tell you what you need to do versus me just telling you, hey, you can't get a home. No. Go back and work on this and come back and see me in a couple months and we're going to get you in this home.
Exactly.
And some people follow through and they're able to get into their homes, but you have to be very disciplined to do that.
So I want to ask you about like the credit scores. Like what is what is the questionable credit score that you really can't get a home or get pre-approved for initially? And then what is the credit score that you look for that would approve a person for home?
Great question. Pretty much the guideline states you can get a home at like a 580.
Okay.
Pretty much FHA 580, but I don't really advertise that because sometimes those are the hardest loans to do. That make your loan officer work. So I always tell clients, I used to tell them 620, but now I'm telling them like a 640 with the interest rates on the rise and all of that. I'm telling the clients, hey, don't ask me what the low is. Try to get it to the highest.
Okay. Correct. Okay.
Wow.
So try to get your score as high as 640. Okay. How do you do that? Pay all your bills on time.
Correct.
Keep your debts low. I tell clients, hey, one thing about it is I had to do that myself.
Yes.
Put your your payments on automatic payment. Yeah. If you're busy like me and you,
yes,
you know, you'll forget to pay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know, I'm going to tell you, that's all you need is one note. One late. Don't get two. You're done. Yeah. And so that is important.
And I think we've all experienced that. And that's the reality. Like, we're busy.
Yeah, we're busy.
If you're managing children, managing business, going to work, sometimes you may forget that. But just like you said, that's a quick tip. Put yourself on auto pay.
And that's
even if it's auto minimum payment. Yeah. Like I have some of my bills on minimum payment. So at least I know the minimum's getting paid, then I can go through and pay off it at the end of the month as well. Yeah. And it prevents because
you will. Because real quick, I was shooting for 800 and I was in the bed in my business. I check my credit score like every other day, like to make sure. And I was like, let me check my credit score because I was like, I do not remember paying this certain bill. Logged onto my Credit Karma account. And they said, girl, your score done dropped 100 points.
Wow. I bet you're like, hold up.
Yeah, I'm turned don't nobody talk to me. I don't want to hear nothing. Yeah, I was like, what can I do to get this score up? Because I'm that person. I was reaching for 800. And I had 2 lays. And, you know, I called the creditor, like, sir, I had the funds. I just got really, they weren't trying to hear all that.
Wow.
So I did get it rectified, thank goodness, or whatever. But I tell people from my learning experience, 2 lays can drop it. It dropped mine almost 100 points.
But also what you did was you took the proactive approach. You didn't just say, okay, I'm going to accept it. You call, you became a thorn in their side to go through and get it to where you needed it back to be. And I think that's something that responsibility teaches you as well. Like if you work so hard to attain an 800, 750 or whatever their credit score is, and you want to keep it, even if for some reason things happen, realizing that in business, these are people. Yeah. They will listen to you. There's always a waiver. There's always an opportunity. And that's when you learn in business. Nothing's just concrete. It's always some gray areas.
It is. I Googled, I typed letters, I did whatever, and I'm like, you know what? And my score eventually came back up, but that was a learning opportunity for me. Like, Jessica, slow down, put everything on automatic. You know, your life is so busy, and you still want to maintain good credit. And I always tell people, I don't have to know you. If I run your credit, your score is going to tell me everything about you.
Exactly.
You know, just to cut into that, I heard a pastor say, Dr. Arisha Hilliard, she was saying that your credit score is your integrity. And so pretty much like if you look at like what, you know, if we look at like who we are, you know, what we stand for, you know, our spending habits, you know, what we put as a priority, your credit score is your integrity. Wow. And so like that, when you said that, you know who you are, you know, you can say, well, I pay my bills, but your credit score going to really show you if you pay your bills on time.
Absolutely.
Or if you are committed to what you are purchasing. And so I think what you just said hit the hammer on the nail.
Yeah. So that's how it is pretty much. I don't have to know you. I can run your score and it's going to tell you whether or not you're going to pay me back or you may run with my money. Wow. So that's how lenders look at it. You may be, if you're in the 5-star, you're really high risk. That's why they're going to charge you once you go to these car companies to put all this down payment because it's likely you won't give them their money back. So they have to get their money up front.
Exactly.
Versus I tell people, no. You don't have to put money down when you buy a car. Exactly. Like that's not normal. If you have a higher credit score, you know, you really don't have to do that. I purchased my car and the guy, I never forget it. He was like, okay, how much you going to put down? I was like, I'm not putting down anything unless I want to. He was like, okay, well, we'll see. And I was like, okay, we will see. Because if you tell me, it's not gonna be a deal. No. So he ran everything. He was like, right, you don't have to put nothing there. I knew the confidence that I walked in. I knew my credit score. Yes. I knew that I didn't have to put down anything unless I wanted to, you know, so I just had that advantage of knowing, but it's all about maintaining good credit. And I tell clients, whether you get a house from me or not, you want to maintain good credit.
Well, I want to jump into this. I want to talk about some home loans. Like I know being, you know, my past profession was a real estate agent. I'm a real estate broker as well. A bomb
agent too. Come on now.
Listen, but I want to talk about, I want you to explain FHA, explain, I think there's a loan for veterans. Like I really want you to explain some of these programs that our audience may need to benefit from.
Okay, first, of course, in this market now, of course, cash is king. Yes. So if you can come to the table with $300,000-$400,000 cash, you're gonna take the deal off the table. You know, but you know that's not an option for many people.
Correct.
So the next option is pretty much conventional. Okay. And that's pretty much the cream of the crop. They like a certain type of buyer. Conventional. You don't have to put as much down. Back in the day, you had to put 15 to 20% down. Oh wow. Now they have conventional loan options that you could put 3 and 5% down.
Oh wow, that's great.
So that's great right there. So of course they like high 7s credit scores. the cream of the crop. The next one is pretty much FHA. FHA is a little more flexible. It's a little more forgiving with debt. You can have a little bit more debt with FHA, which is a good thing. Some people think FHA is a bad loan. It's a loan to get you in your home. Correct. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then you can, refinance out later or whatever. But it's the easiest way to get in the home. You can have more debt, and you only have to put like 3.5% down versus the 5% versus 15%. So it's a very easy way to get in the home. It's a great loan. I tell people the loan I like best is the VA loan. The VA loan, we have a veteran right here. Come on, veteran. Yeah. Thank you for your service.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So the veteran loan, of course, you can get in the home with pretty much 0% down, but you will have closing costs. And a lot of people forget about the closing costs. Some people think they can get in the home with absolutely nothing. Yeah, I had one realtor did it. Shout out to Jasmine Fuller. She worked, and I was like, I never seen a deal like this. But pretty much her client got on the home with nothing. I was like, I was scratching my head, like, how in the world did you make that happen?
Man, come on.
But yeah, she's a great realtor. She was able to negotiate. That's when people was getting seller's concession and all that.
Exactly.
Now the market has kind of shifted a little bit. But that's a great loan. No money down. You're still responsible for your closing costs. But it's a great loan. Great loan. So if you're a veteran out there, you want to take advantage of that loan.
And I want to just shout out for veterans, like so many veterans, they have benefits that they never use. So many that never use. And just like you said, I'm a big advocate for veterans to utilize the benefits that they serve and work so hard for. And just if you're a veteran out there, if you do not own a home, if home ownership, if you think it's out of your reach, you have to go through and reach out to I'm going to recommend none other than my sister Jessica.
I've got some VA loans.
Because I really think for veterans, is no reason why a veteran should not be in a home. And home ownership for everybody is different. Like some people, they're looking for the big house on the hill, the big mansion, but it's okay to have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's okay to have a condo. It's okay to have whatever your ideal home. You don't have to look on Facebook, Instagram and say, I got to have this, because do you really need it?
Right.
Is it within your reach right now? And just because you start right here does not mean you end right there as well.
Right. And what I realized, especially being a real estate agent, that a lot of people stay in their homes typically for 5 years, 5 to 10 years, 5 to 7 years or so, and then they buy another home or they upgrade. And so, especially for first-time home buyers, I would just recommend, that getting your home. The first thing is for home ownership is to create wealth. There's being investors for ourselves, Ferris and I. We have bought properties that many years ago that we paid $100,000 for, and now the homes are worth around $250,000, $300,000. So that's the equity. And so you want to just kind of get in the home now, and then once you build it up and fix it up, guess what? You can sell it for what you need to sell it for.
And to piggyback off of that, you guys, I tell people it's levels to home ownership.
Yes.
This is your first home. It may not be your forever home. So you have to remember that. And you can't just get on social media, IG, Facebook, and look at this person buying this mansion and when you may not have mansion money.
Exactly.
I tell people, hey, it's levels to this. You may have to get you a nice manufactured home to start off, but you get what you can afford.
Right.
And I tell all of them sleep the same.
Come on.
I'm just going to tell you, all of them sleep the same. You can have this mansion, but you can have hell in the mansion.
Right.
And then you can have hell in the mobile home. You know what I mean? And then you have, peace in the mobile home. So
all right.
It's just sleep the same or whatever. So I tell people, don't get that mixed up. It's whatever you can afford.
And just to piggyback, you use it as a stepping stone. You get in your home, and then if you do a refinance or you sell it and you get something else, you get to keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
I think that's great.
If that's your
if that's what you want.
Or not, you can just get that home and stay there for the rest of your life. And it's totally fine with that. Pay it off, and guess what? You won't have a mortgage.
Exactly.
So it's whatever you want to do, and you can't allow people to dictate what you can afford, what type of home you should have. You have to know that going in, hey, I can only afford $1,000 a month. So you shouldn't let nobody push you into paying $2,000, because it is a certain thing as foreclosure.
Exactly.
We have some nice attorneys right here in Milledgeville. Shout out to Attorney Stripley. He closed a lot of our loans, but he'll let you know, hey, if you don't pay, you don't stay.
Exactly.
And we don't want that to happen.
Exactly.
We do not want that to happen. So you get what you can afford.
Yes.
And I'm big on that. Just like us, most people, we stayed in the single wide trailer.
Exactly.
All 7 of us.
And then mama owned it, So we good with that. So, but it was levels to it. Now we stay, in a house and have several houses.
To get back on the single wide trailer, I'm trying to figure out how did all 7 of us stay in the single wide trailer. Because y'all know the boys' room was really, really small. It was probably half of this room, and we had bunk beds. Yeah. And Ferris, you had your own bed? I guess Josh and I played.
Y'all shared.
We shared. It's like we always sharing. And then the girls had their own room. It's amazing. Yeah. So I want tell me one of your most memorable moments of closing, maybe helping a family member. What has been one of the memorable closings? Either you were helping someone that probably didn't think they qualified, or you actually assisted them throughout the process. Like, what was one of your most memorable experiences?
Oh, yes, I have like several. I have two, actually. One person gave me a call. They didn't know whether or not they qualified or not. They were like, Jessica, hey, this is where I work. This is how much I make. This is my bank statement. And just see what you can do. Okay. They were like, hey, I paid off my car last year. I don't even know if I got my credit, to be honest. I don't even know what my credit score is. And once I ran that person credit, I was like, oh, snap. This person had like way over 7s. I did the calculations, no bills. Wow. Plenty funds in the bank. I called the client back. I was like, you are the perfect candidate. Where do I send this pre-approval? And they were like, are you serious? I didn't even know. And I was like, I'm so for real. Wow. Yeah. And it was first time owning a home. Wow. Didn't know anything pretty much about the process. Me and her realtor pretty much walked her through the process, and it was a great experience. But she didn't even know didn't know her credit score, didn't know she was the prime candidate, didn't know anything. And I'm like, girl, you checked all these off 20 times. Like, you are the prime candidate. Wow. And she just didn't know. And a lot of people are in that situation. They just don't know. And I tell people all the time, hey, we've been working jobs for 20 years. Come on. I mean, we've been employed. A lot of our people coming from the African-American community, we just weren't educated in the home buying process. Right. We rented, a lot of us rented all of our lives, and our parents rented. So we didn't even think home ownership is possible because we didn't even know the steps. We thought renting was just the go-to. Yeah. But now it's my job, my duty to be like, honey, you've been working at your job for 20 years. All of us have been working for 20 years. Everybody got a bank account. Right. You know, credit score, you got a 620 or greater, you can get a home. And that's how easy it is. But we think it's so big, and you got to have an 800 plus, and you have to have this, and it's not that serious.
And what you're saying, because a lot of times people giving power to the fear part of it, of, oh, I can't do this, or I've seen this in the past where we were renters, etc. Now we're living in a day and age where home ownership is at its fingertips. Yep. One thing that I'm going to go through and suggest, I think a lot of times we have access to online and access to our phones. Sometimes people, they go in and try to see how much house they can afford by going online. But it's so important to have relationships with local individuals. So important to have a name with the face of somebody that's going to walk you through the process, because there's plenty of .coms out there, the homeloan.com, etc. But when you can go through and actually talk to a person who knows and be able to go through and connect with individuals, I think that's so important. And I think important, like for equally, all of us are entrepreneurs. Right. I think a lot of times we go out there because we're not shining stuff on Facebook saying this is what we can do, it, etc. But it's so important to let our light shine, let people know what we do, because we are at service. Everything we do, even specifically, I'll talk about our family. Everything our family does is all about service. It's service based, and I think, just like I said, bring you on board to be able to explain to individuals the service that you offer. Right. Being able to go through and talk to Jessie, being able to go through and talk to Jessica, being able to go through and speak with her, being able to go through and DM, not just going through and putting your information in a computer and a robot give you an answer. No, Jessica can look at it and give you some specific pointers to get you into home ownership.
That's so true. It was one guy. He was like, "Well, why should I work with you?" I said, first of all, you won't be able to call the banker at 7 o'clock at night. Come on. So I'm picking up my phone. Exactly. Like, do you need another reason? He was like, well, you got a point there. I'm like, I know I got the point or whatever. But yeah, you want to be able to have that connection with your buyers and to let them know, hey, it's nothing to be afraid of. This is what you need. And pretty much I tell my clients, hey, I'm going to give you the answers to the test. Wow. I'm giving you the answer to the test. This is what I need. W-2s, bank statements, driver's license. This is what I need. Have your score at 640 and then bring it back into me. So you can't lose if I give you the answers to the test. Come on. You know, and it's no secret. Exactly. I'm not giving away top classified information. You could Google this stuff on the internet. Exactly. Like, bring me this. This is what I want to see, and you just bring it back to me. So Jessica, what is your service area? Do you just cover like certain areas, or do you cover the entire state of Georgia? Like, what is your service area? Pretty much, I can lend anywhere in the state of Georgia. Okay. So yeah, I've closed Middle Georgia, Atlanta region, Columbus, Augusta. I mean, I've done some loans, you know, pretty much in all of Georgia, Middle Georgia, Central Georgia, Atlanta. So yeah, anywhere in the state of Georgia. Yep. If it's a house, I can lend on it. Awesome. And then one thing, Jessica, because I know we're going to wrap this part of the conversation up.
I want you to go through and give a parting piece of advice. We have people that are entrepreneurs. We have mothers that are teachers. We have people that are working in factory jobs, been there for 30 years, that are still actually kind of considering the home buying process, but they have not actually moved forward on it. But I want you to give some parting piece of advice. And I want you looking at camera when you give that parting piece of advice to let them know how close home ownership is to them and why they should go ahead and take that leap of faith and get into home ownership and how it can change their lives.
Great. To the person that is wanting to purchase, I want you to know pretty much home ownership is right at your fingertips. If it's not at your fingertips, I'm the person like to put it in reach to let you know, hey, you've been at your job. You've been at your job for 15 years. You have a bank account. You have 401k. Those are funds that you already have. And a lot of clients are already the prime candidate anyway. You just need to reach out to a loan officer, reach out to me and ask me, hey, Jessica, what else do I need to do? You may be prepared right now to purchase a home, but fear is keeping you away. Don't allow fear to keep you from purchasing a home another year. Sometimes you have to face the fears. It's 2022. It's time to face the fear. Yes. It's time to ask those questions. It starts with the conversation. So you just need to initiate the conversation. And even if I tell you, hey, come back. Yes. You know, you want to purchase a home. Home ownership, hey, that's real estate. Real estate is always money.
Yes.
A lot of people are asking me right now in this market, should I buy? Yeah, buy. Well, suppose my value drop. It'll go back up.
Exactly.
I mean, real estate fluctuates.
Exactly.
You know, it's buy and hold. Just sit there and wait till it go back up.
Exactly.
You know, and that's what people do. That's how the rich get richer. Real estate is the main thread to a lot of billionaires. Real estate is that thread.
Wow.
You know, so you want to be able to come in.
Right.
You could be at a factory, but guess what? You can own your home.
Yes,
exactly.
It's equity in that home.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, you can pay it off and refinance, and then get you another 150 grand out of there.
And that's a form of retirement right there.
Absolutely. So you don't, the market, don't really look at that. If you want the home, get the home.
That's it.
Exactly.
You know, real estate is gonna always fluctuate. Over the last 100 years, it fluctuated. You know, so it's nothing new.
I love it. I love it. And just like you said, again, as we close this out, not operating in fear. I think that's one thing. If you get anything from the conversation that we had today, is not to operate in fear, because again, home ownership is possible, regardless if you're working as an employee somewhere, regardless if you're an entrepreneur, regardless if you're a veteran, regardless if you're a senior and you're looking for a second home ownership is possible as well. And Jessica, I want you to go there and let people know how they can follow you on social media, how they can reach out to you as well.
Yep, I am on social media. You can find me on Facebook and IG at Home Loans by J. That's the letter J. That's Home Loans by J. And reach out to me, DM me. I promise to get back with you. It may not be on the same day because I am so busy doing a lot of different things. But reach out to me and hopefully I can guide you through that process. I've guided several individuals successfully to home ownership. And hey, you might as well join the party.
Exactly.
I like that. Well, there you have it. Another great episode of Conversations with the Homecare Guyz, and we're just excited just to have our expert, which is our sister, Jessica Flournoy, a loan officer, to really kind of walk us through the home buying process. And so I hope you enjoyed this episode. Definitely follow us on Spotify, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Ferris, you want to wrap it up?
Wrap it up by, hey guys, after this episode, we're going to have an after show after the episode. So make sure you go up there and be on the lookout for that link, because we're going to be delving deep and maybe give some quick tips. Maybe it'll take about 10 minutes, but give some quick tips that Jesse knows from behind the scenes that can go through and actually expedite your process in the home ownership process, home buying process as well. So again, we thank you all so much for tuning in. Jessica, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Listen, you know, I think these views, you're going to probably be our co-host. She brings a ball of fire, huh?
Exactly.
Let's get it done. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Have it, and you all stay safe and have a great day.